Hello, good evening, and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How's everybody tonight? Hope you're all well. Hope you're getting ready for the weekend. So then, we're going to be continuing our exploration of the recently released Alien the Role-Playing Game Evolved Edition. And tonight we are going to be taking a look at the Core Rulebook. This is the updated and revised version that features new artwork, new content, new tools, and of course the iconic weapons, ships and locations from all of the recent Alien-based movies. So primarily that, of course, is Alien Romulus. This also features The Last Survivor, which is a robust solo mode, so we'll be taking a quick scan at that as well. Of course, my thanks to Free League Publishing for providing a copy of Alien the Role-Playing Game Evolved Edition for us to take a look at this evening. They also provided something else which we will take a look at in a moment. So then, as we go through, we might hit a few elements that might be considered spoilers. That being the case, we'll put up the spoiler sign so that if you intend to want to play the game as a player, then you might want to tap out at that point. But of course, game mothers will want to stay on and watch the rest of the show. Alright, that being said, let's go to the table and check it out. Okay, so here we go. These are the core rules. We do have a little bit of a shine on the front cover here, but let's take a look. So then, topping charts and capturing hearts since its release, Alien the Role-Playing Game has become a fan favourite across the globe, inspiring new standards for horror and sci-fi RPGs, while winning a dozen top awards over the years, including Best Game at the ENNIE Awards. Now the time has come for an evolution. The Alien RPG Evolved Edition expands upon the original experience and provides an updated and revised version that will feel fresh for rookie and veteran players alike. This expanded core rulebook includes new artwork, new content, and various new tools for players and game mothers alike, all fully compatible with previous releases. Exciting new features include bold new graphic design, life path character generation, revised and expanded core rules for stealth, stress, and panic, reworked combat rules for armor, ammo, grenades, stuns, and spaceships, new iconic weapons, ships, and locations from the hit film Alien Romulus, new rules and tools in high demand from players including zero gravity, miniature play support, and expanded campaign play. The Tartarus Sector campaign setting, and Last Survivor, a robust solo mode for playing without a game mother. Alright, so that's cool and interesting. As I say, it's updated to Alien Romulus, not Alien Earth. Thank goodness. We've got miniature play support. We took a look at the starter set on Wednesday evening, and that had a xenomorph miniature included within it. And on Monday night, we will be taking a look at the first part of a brand new cinematic campaign, to which there is an accompanying set of miniatures. So if you do like your Alien miniatures, then come and check out the show on Monday night. But it's great that we also do have rules for miniature play support here as well. Alright, so before we get started going through the core rules, one thing that Free League did send as well is this game mother screen. So let's take a look. I like, of course, the artwork on this. It is very much... Well, have I got it upside down? I think I have, haven't I? There we go. So we've got that sort of late 1970s sci-fi style. And three-part screen, as you might expect. And information-wise, it's all of these really handy sort of flow charts, which I found. We were taking a look through the starter set and the handouts for the players, so that they can take a look at what the rules are as they play. And this, in essence, is the Games Master's or Game Mother's version of it. And I find these really, really handy. I think this is a great GM screen. So you can see everything here. Nice and easy. And taking full advantage of the space available. I found there's some GM screens out there that really they don't have that much to them. I guess maybe the games themselves are a little bit rules light, but this is a good mix. Its rules are deep enough and complex enough to sort of you still be able to learn and not feel bogged down too much, but there's not lots of white space available, so they've been able to use up the space really well. So this is a handy tool for GMs, but as I say, the starter set, which is fantastic, has these player reference cards, which are very helpful as well. Okay, so on the inner pages here we have the map of the stars of the middle heavens. Again, this is part of the starter set. So if you wanted to sort of get a good idea of where the Alien movies are sort of set, I think we found, didn't we, LV426 just down here, which of course is where Aliens, in fact actually Alien is effectively set there as well, isn't it, at the start. This is the Tartarus Sector that it's just been talking about. Oh, there we go, Jeremiah 4. Do we maybe we'll have to have something with that when we look at the cinematic campaign on Monday. Sol is just here in the centre. I don't recognise... Oh, here we go. Anchor Point Station. Is that the space station where Ripley is found at the beginning of Aliens? So in other words, she drifted from here all the way there. And of course, not going into this main area here, as it said in the movie, you would have just gone off into deep space, so she was really fortunate. Anyway, let's jump on in. So we have got a lot of credits there. A lot of people, of course, come together to make these games. What do we have? Multiple chapter areas here. Space is hell, your character, skills and talents, stealth and combat, gear and tech, hard life amongst the stars, being the game mother, governments and corporations, oh yes, systems and planets, alien species, and then campaign play. So it's quite a lot here, isn't it? And then in the appendices we have the last survivor. Oh, but before that we have life paths. It did mention that, didn't it? But in the campaign play we have details then on this Tartarus sector. So we'll learn a bit more about that as we go through. We have a brief summary here. Space is vast, dark, and not your friend. This is the Alien role-playing game, a universe of body horror and corporate brinksmanship, where synthetic people play God while space truckers and marines serve as hosts to newborn ghoulish creatures. It is harsh and unforgiving universe, and you are nothing if not expendable. Stay alive if you can. I always ask whenever we take a look at one of the Alien games, what was your favourite Alien movie? Leave a comment on the video or in the chat. But the great thing about this particular game, and many other sort of licensed role-playing games is it's an opportunity to learn more about the universe that's not necessarily available in the, I guess, the source material. So this really expands upon what we get to see in the movie. So saying that, I suppose the Alien Earth series tried to sort of add a little bit more. So we learn about the different territories: the Free World Empire, the United Americas, the Union of Progressive Peoples, and the Independent Core System colonies. Ah, here we go. So Weyland-Yutani. So the ICSC is a loose conglomerate of privately owned worlds. Each colony in the ICSC has its own government. In addition to its operations within the colonies of the United Americas and the Free World Empire, Weyland-Yutani is known to maintain private interests in the ICSC. So we got period of facts, 2180. Only a few years have passed since the destruction of Hadley's Hope colony on LV-426, the disappearance of the USS Sulaco, and the closing of the prison and lead works on, is that Fiorentina 161? Ah, so it's all after Alien 3, isn't it? Let's find, can we find that one? Fiorina, where's Fiorina? Is that going to be... Oh, there we go. Fiorina. So they were getting slightly inward, trying to get home. Good evening, Roger. How are you? We're literally just starting to go through the Alien role-playing game core rulebook for the new Evolved Edition. So our crew is expandable. This time it's war. And we do have a timeline. So here we go, 2023, Peter Weyland's infamous TED Talk, Weyland Corp. So is this, do we have a little bit of sort of Prometheus elements appearing in this? Oh, here we go, yes we do. Weyland Corp launches the infamous USCSS Prometheus on a mission to find the origins of humanity. And then Covenant. Okay, cool. So yes, it does have all the movies here. That's good. 2157, Hadley's Hope, terraformed colony, is established on LV-426. And Nostromo. Because of course, yes, wasn't it some like 70 years gap between the Nostromo, you know, Alien 1 and Alien 2. Excuse me a second. The Renaissance, a highly advanced Weyland-Yutani Corporation research station, is destroyed when crashing into the rings of the planet LV-410 for reasons unknown. Oh, here you go, yeah. New anchor point station is established. We got the shuttle from Nostromo is discovered by a deep salvage team. Ah, when's this? Romulus aboard the USS Sulaco is sent to investigate. Hadley Hope is destroyed. Yep. So yes, this is actually the Aliens movie at 2179. One survivor, the first anchor point station, suffers a catastrophic reactor meltdown and is destroyed. Right, okay, so it pretty much ends after Alien 3. But of course that gives us opportunity to make up our own stories beyond that point, doesn't it? So, careers on the frontier. Space truckers, colonial marines, frontier colonists, company reps. So these are giving us, I think it's an overview of the type of characters we might be. So start thinking, Roger, what type of character you might want to be. We're going to be Marines, aren't we? Of course we are. So we have two forms of play, cinematic play and campaign play. And as we were describing this in the starter set, the cinematic play pretty much plays like a movie. So, you know, your characters are quite squishy in this game. Very few seem to get to the end to survive. So I've always thought that, you know, if you're going to die, make it a wonderful death. In this type of game. But campaign play, of course, is the idea that your character moves from one mission to another, which would be really, really lucky persons, you know, given the types of foes that you might be facing. Key themes, we've got space horror, sci-fi action, a sense of wonder, yeah, which this type of scene definitely generates, doesn't it? Everything's so huge in the alien world. This is another good piece of artwork. I do really like the art in this. Of course, just like it said in the starter set, this is a horror based game, isn't it? So you've got to make sure that your content is suitable for everybody around the table, and just edit it accordingly, I guess. I think if you were anything like me when I first watched Alien and Aliens, I probably was younger than the age rating suggested that I should be. So, yeah. I don't know. Are those movies quite tame by today's standards? I know the more recent releases are actually quite tame, aren't they? They go more on the action as opposed to the horror sort of element to it. It's always good to sort of try and think back to Alien and the suspense and horror that generated, more so maybe than the action that Aliens did. So, core concepts, your career. So first choice for your character is your career. I think that's what we just looked at before. We have our attributes of strength, agility, wit and empathy. This will use an adapted version of the Mutant Year Zero engine that powers the vast majority of Free League's games. So if you've played any of Free League's games before, you're probably going to be reasonably au fait with how this is going to play out. And in fact, here we go. We've got creating your character. Again, that's the difference, of course, with the core rules compared to the starter set. Starter set, you get pre-gen characters. In this, you can create your own unique character. So we're going to choose a career, determine your attributes, determine your skills, and choose your career talent, your name, your appearance, personal agenda, choose your buddy and rival, pick your gear and a signature item, and then roll for cash. We do, of course, get the opportunity to play as an android or a synthetic, an artificial person. So we have skills, talents, stress. Stress is definitely an important factor. It's one of the elements that is sort of added for this particular game. We were taking a look in the starter set. It's quite good fun. So let's see what we can get to as far as developing our character. Here we go. So we can have our career, Colonial Marine. See, you think that's probably what you would go for, wouldn't you, initially? Just to sort of at least have a gun and have some training. And you go into another bug hunt. But here we go. Key skills. This is something I thought was really cool when we looked at the starter set. Is the command skill. So with the Colonial Marshal, we will maybe we'll come back to this when we go through the skills and see what they're able to do. Company agent. Was it Burke? I think it was. A kid. Medic. Officer, so again, command is worthwhile. Oh, here we go. So talent. Field commander, you can use command to give orders in combat. Page 60, alright, we'll have to remember that. There's a quick action instead of a full action. We got the roughneck. The definite sort of space truckers, isn't it? and then scientist. So I'm thinking I probably would like to go with the marine to start off with, just to sort of get to grips with it. I'm not sure pilot. See, but that's the interesting thing about this. We do have rules for space flight. It's not something it's there in the films, but it's not a huge component of them, is it? Because usually you're wandering around a space station or a colony facility. So, not sure about the pilot. I like maybe the idea of the company agent, because that could be very interesting. Yeah, personal agenda. You are greedy for power and never miss an opportunity to get ahead. The company is holding you back. Information from you. What and why? You are a nice guy, but the company is blackmailing you to do its dirty work. Get even. Okay, interesting. So here we go. Skills and talents. So as I say, it uses the Year Zero engine. So basically there are two types of dice, which of course you get, I think is it 20 dice in the starter set? 10 of each, 10 base dice and 10 stress dice. And ultimately when you are required to roll, you basically take your attribute and your skill, you take that number of dice. If you are stressed, so if you have stress level 1 or higher, add this number of stress dice to your dice pool as well. So if you roll a 1 on one or more stress dice, then you suffer a stress response. And we'll take a look at that in a second. But ultimately, you're trying to roll 6s. Any 6s you get are a success. If you get multiple 6s, then your success sort of value goes up. You succeed better. And of course, if it's in combat, that might be that you do more damage. But it's up to you to sort of, the games master or games mother, I'm going to have to get used to doing that, will point out how the greater number of successes actually pay off. So here you go, yes. Multiple successes, you show off, you do it quickly, you do it quietly, you achieve some unexpected additional effect. You can push your rolls, but that increases your stress level. So it would mean then that you have to pick up an extra stress dice. And here we go, here's our stress response roll. So it's D6 plus your stress level minus your resolve. So you might end up being jumpy or get tunnel vision or become frantic or get the shakes. And then wasn't there panic? I think there's a panic element as well. Here we go, our skills. We were looking at command, weren't we? So if you are to survive the horrors of space, you'll need a good leader, or you must become one yourself. You can use your command skill to stop panicking other PCs and to give orders. I thought that was quite cool, because we'll look at it on page 60. I think it's that you're able to get other characters to do additional actions. So here's our talents for Marshal and the Marine. Company Agent. Did we have a command one here? Field Commander, yes. Officer talents. And then our general talents here. It's quite a few. Going into stealth and combat. So pointing out miniatures. So for an even more visceral and tangible game experience, official miniatures for the Alien role-playing game are available separately, together with the large full-colour maps included in Hope's Last Day starter set and Rapture Protocol Cinematic Adventure. The miniatures can be used to play skirmish-style war games. I am very excited about that. We'll look more at that on Monday's show. With stealth, because of course there's going to be lots of creeping around air ducts and underfloor crawlways. I suppose as a game mother, something that might be a worthwhile resource is taking a look at the Alien video game. I think it was from, was it Rebellion? That got lots of praise when it came out. It's a very realistic game as far as being in the world of Alien. Certainly get an idea of type of settings that you might want to be in. Here we go, this universal supply dial, that's available in the starter set. You can use to track your ammo. And again, these are these really handy flow charts, part of what was on the game mother's screen, but also as part of the starter set as handouts for the players. I thought these were really useful. Oh, here we go. Critical injuries. Sprained ankles, blood in eyes, ear torn off, broken nose, gouged eye, disfigured face, cracked spine, paralyzed from the waist down, unable to move, requires surgery. I think my game's over at that point, surely. Impaled heart, crushed head, disemboweled. Yeah! Here we go. So here's your panic responses. So, twitchy or freeze, you're frozen by fear, losing your next turn and unable to perform any interrupt actions before then. You scream your lungs out, losing your next turn and unable to perform any interrupt actions before then. Your stress level is reduced 1 step. For every friendly PC in the zone, let's make an immediate panic roll. So, you know, panic is quite contagious. We got our mental trauma. Oh my gosh. You get nightmares and panic attacks and become psychotic. And then we go through some of the other hazards: fatigue, vacuum of space, explosive decompression, zero gravity. Because of course that's it. Space just wants to kill you in many, many different ways. Radiation. So we do have vehicle combat. Again, we get to see the APC a little bit, but of course nothing sort of beyond that. And aerial vehicles. So it's just a small amount to it. Because that could be interesting, couldn't it? Maybe it's a case of it's not necessarily always the xenomorphs that you're having to contend with. Weapons. I love the artwork. This is really cool. Pistols. Oh yes, here we go. Pulse rifles. Smart gun. Let's rock. That's cool. Now, isn't one of these... I think it's... Is it this one? I think this is the one that's in Romulus. It's not quite a marine level. Oh, here we go. Sentry guns. Tripod-mounted robot sentries form an automated perimeter defense system that tracks and automatically fires upon any target. I remember the first time I watched the Alien Special Edition, and just those couple of extra minutes with the sentry gun. My goodness, that changed that movie. Brilliant. Our power loaders. One of the miniatures in the pack we'll look at on Monday is, of course, power loader. That's going to be a lot of good fun. And what do we have? Various mothers as the technology improves. So again, this is cool. This is all just adding a little bit extra to the world, isn't it? That's what I was saying before. that roleplay games are a great resource if you enjoy the franchise, being able to sort of delve on in and learn more about everything that's in the background that the movies don't really focus in on. A good RPG creates all this stuff, and of course that was the case with Star Wars, wasn't it? When the role-playing game came out in the sort of mid-80s following Return of the Jedi, it was the role-playing game that gave the names to many of the ships, because they were just a ship in the movie, never got sort of identified. And now, years past, those names from the role-playing game are actually how we identify those ships. Oh yeah, APC, fantastic. Again, the artwork on this is really, really nice. And we got the dropship. So, what's this? Chapter 6, A Hard Life Amongst the Stars. So this is... So we've talked about, we've creating characters, we've looked at stealth and combat and our weapons and our vehicles. And now we're getting a lot more information about just what's it like actually in this universe and travelling. So we got faster than light, planet fall, hyper sleeping. Oh goodness. We're looking at charted space, so of course where the map is at the beginning here, and then giving us an idea of what life is actually like. This was one thing that was really good about the Alien Romulus movie, or certainly I thought it was, is that there was really good world building in that first sort of sequence, and you realise just how awful it is to be sort of indentured to one of these corporations. I think that might be an interesting idea, that all of the characters for that particular game are all kind of the space trucker, colonist type of character. That could be interesting. Spacecraft basics. So we effectively could create our own spacecraft, but again, I think we'd have to justify why it was ours. That's maybe one of the elements of Romulus. Why do these kids have this spacecraft? Would we trust them with it? I mean, this would be costing, well, millions of dollars. That's just for upgrades. How much does a ship cost these days? Expensive armament. Internal. I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to. Oh my goodness. Yes, we're talking $400 million. Those kids couldn't afford that ship. But we do have a Star Cub shuttle. Was that what they were? I think that's it, yes. Oh, here we go. The Mule. I think this is the ship from Romulus. Because of course they, spoilers, they jettison this bottom part, don't they? There we go. In fact, actually, here we go. Noteworthy ships. The USCSS Corbelan 4, operating out of Jackson Star Mining Colony. Age 269, okay. Was an early model of the Mule, which disappeared in 2142 after being stolen by a group of colonists. So, Jackson Star 269. What's the reference to that? Here we go. So we do get some content from Romulus. Fantastic. All right. Okay, this is looking a bit cooler. Henry Marlowe and Amanda Ripley. Oh, now is this a ship from the video game? First ship seen wreck. I think this might be. Oh, that's kind of cool. So, yeah. So they're doing references. Okay, so are we going to get... Let's see if this continues. The Nostromo. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it, that we reference various ships from the movies. So is this the Sulaco? Yep. Cool. That's really good. So we got rules for space combat. Again, well, is it what you say? Space battles in 2180 are short and brutal, with the victory often going to the ship who spots the enemy first and gets their best shot in. This section deals with space combat and describes how to play out a violent encounter. Makes me sort of think a little bit of The Expanse. So that's interesting. Is there an Expanse role-playing game? Engineering phase, stress and panic in space combat. I think actually The Expanse, that would be a good idea to pull some of those sort of ships, or at least, you know, having a bit of an idea. Just going back then, so we had essentially one combat, but the Nostromo, essentially it's just an interstellar cruiser, isn't it? It's a freighter, yeah. Because isn't it pulling... Yes, here we go. The Nostromo and the ore refinery module she towed were destroyed. Okay, so yes, because that's the thing is that the Nostromo has this large sort of back area to it, but that's not actually the ship. It's pulling that along. Wasn't there an image of that? I think we passed it somewhere. Because it just looks like towers, doesn't it? Oh, right, okay, and so we get a bit of an example then. I always find that really handy with games, whenever explaining a major component, provide some examples. Definitely helps. So I don't think we're going to necessarily get into any spoiler parts here. This is just... typically there is an element that says, hey, don't read any further if you're a player. But we'll see how it goes. But here we go. 8 basic principles. Use the films, limit resources, stay in the shadows. If only Alien Earth could have just stuck with that basic principle. Keep everything in the shadows, not in the bright sunlight of a tropical island. Increase the pressure, let them breathe, fuel their agendas, bring horrible death, reveal the universe. Space horror, sci-fi action, and a sense of wonder, as we mentioned at the beginning, wasn't it? Stress and horror. So this is all really interesting, how to actually convey horror in a role-playing game. And we've looked at a few horror-based games, haven't we? Obviously Call of Cthulhu, but there is a couple of the white books from Monty Cook, their Sci-fi system, which could actually lend some really good advice in addition to what's in this book here. Cinematic play. Oh, agendas and secrets. So here we go. So we're now getting... This is all the sort of background detail. I'm going to put on, just in case, just so that we're being fair, We might have a bit of spoiler stuff here. Of course, we were looking for Weyland-Yutani, aren't we? So Weyland-Yutani doesn't own everything, just mostly everything. Again, this is where it'll be interesting. Oh, Hyperdyne Systems. I'm sure that's a different franchise. This is very Blade Runner. I'm sure there's a Blade Runner role-playing game. Might be worth looking into. So we've got the various corporations in it. Yeah, here we go. So, who's the, like any major corporation, Weyland-Yutani is run by a board of directors and shareholders, yep. Though unsubstantiated, there are rumours that upper management is actually run by synthetics operating under directives that date back to co-founder Peter Weyland's David series of androids. Corporate agents are numerous on the frontier, but the real man in charge out there is Michael Bishop. And so we get a little bit of detail on Michael Bishop. Right. Yeah, explore the frontier in search of xenomorphs, hive worlds. Interesting. So I suppose at some point they might do some kind of add-on in terms of Alien Earth, depending on how that goes. This was I think the image that I thought. This is like the ore refinery, isn't it? These structures. The ship is maybe a bit further along here. So, looking at the systems and planets. Again, Alien 4 got to Earth itself, but never really just into the atmosphere, wasn't it? I'm not sure we would want an alien at Earth. But then breaking down all these different sectors. Is one of these the Fury 161? During the Hadley's Hope incident, an alien queen managed to come aboard the USS Sulaco and deposit at least one undeveloped egg sac. Yes. So this is this the setup? It is, yes, this is the setup for Alien 3. Oh, okay, there's some nice little spoilery things in there. That's interesting to read. One thing that, of course, whenever we look at an Alien game, always want to sort of ask the question of, you know, are there any Predators? Can we get some Predator crossover in this? So that's something that I would look forward to. Whether that actually comes officially through Free League or whether some inventive designer out there in the community creates something. But to be able to do some of the AVP sort of stories would be absolutely fantastic. Oh, here we go. So, aliens. We've got the engineers. And then xenomorphs. We have the different stages, from the egg, the facehooker, chest burster, scout, soldier, and queen. Now, that's again something that I hope that we might get. So, the miniature set. Are we potentially going to get some of the other types of aliens? Specifically, would the Free League ever do a queen alien? Which would be really cool. I do hope so. And of course, here we go. Special abilities: acid splash, immunity to cold and vacuum, radiation, darkness. I mean, if you're up against an alien, well, as it says, does it say on the back here? I can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies. Yep. Yep, so true. Soldier, worker, sentry, and then Praetorian, Crusher, and Queen. So, you know, we've got some really nice pieces of art throughout this. I really do like it. A neomorph. So, is this something from Prometheus, I think? Yes, oh, Covenant. Yeah, there you go. Well, it might be those films. And then, here we go. We have some other kind of aliens. We can't just have one alien, can we? The Harvesters. Now, this is interesting. Definite spoilers, but one thing that was cool about the alien and Predator crossovers is, of course, you get to see the Predator's trophy case, and you get to see various skulls which hint at other movies, don't they? So the big thing was in Predator 2 being able to see the alien skull in the Predator ship. Well, I know that in Predator Badlands we get to see another skull from a popular movie franchise. I wondered if they might include that in this, to have them as another kind of alien we might face. We got a swarm. Is that in reference to Alien Earth? I'm not sure. So what do we have here? Campaign play. We do have various... Now, this is a good thing about these Evolved Edition rules, is that if you do have some of the original campaign expansions or the first edition of the Alien role-playing game, they will work perfectly fine with this. You don't need to new versions of them coming out. You can use them quite happily. And it's giving a point here. What was the two that we did here? Colonial Marines, Operation Manual, and Building Better Worlds. They're probably worth getting hold of, just to add more. But here we go, creating star systems. This is cool. I think we saw something similar to this recently in the Star Trek role-playing game, didn't we? Because our space truckers could land on any unknown world. Job generator. What might we be doing? Different missions, expeditions. That's cool. Plot twists, encounters. Okay, so there's a lot. Again, I like lots of roll tables. So this is cool. Oh, if you were on shore leave, this is cool. And then we've got a whole variety of NPCs that we might bump into. And then this is the Tartarus Sector. This area of the Outer Rim territory is briefly described in Chapter 9. It's expanded here as a possible campaign setting for the game. 12 planetary systems described in detail, and a summary of what's going down across the sector. What does the Tartarus system have? We have various systems here. We're going to get a little map. Yep, there we go. That's cool. I like it. Tartarus Colony is a UA mining outfit. So again, watching Alien Romulus is going to be worthwhile to get a general feeling of what it's like on one of these planets. Jackson Star, we talked about that earlier, didn't we, in the mines? Ah, here we go. And so we do have an atmosphere processing plant. I guess that's the thing, isn't it? As you start to sort of spread out in the galaxy, it will be all about mining resources. If the Earth has no resources left, then we're just going to grab them from somewhere else, aren't we? So the Novograd station. We get some details on the main concourse, habitations, science labs. Ah, okay. It's a bit of sort of a tower type of setup, isn't it? And is this giving us some ideas of potential story hooks? Oh, this is cool. The life path generator randomly determines most aspects of your PC's early life, with a few choices for you to make along the way. Okay, so this is a different way of creating your character. Again, I think we saw something like this in the Star Trek roleplay. So you get to sort of build your character up gradually. A lot more sort of detail. Yeah, you can really sort of get into your character this way. This would be a sizable session 0. And then Last Survivor. Last Survivor is a solo mode for the Alien role-playing game. No game over required. A brief and brutal story. Last Survivor is intended for one-off scenarios. Your PC may survive, but they will most likely perish. I guess that's the reality, isn't it? You've got to be okay with that. So we've got some mission starters for either space truckers, marines, colonists, company reps. Danger event matrix. We've got our binary responses. And then we got location details. Stress and panic. So yeah, it's quite a lot to these solo rules. I'll be interested to see how that sort of plays out with the miniatures, and I think we'll get to see that on Monday. Of course, we've got our character sheet, our ship sheet. Anything else? No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Really good. I am definitely excited to read through this into more detail. I think I really enjoyed looking at the starter set, so that's got me sort of primed for this. Clearly there's just a lot more available in the core rules for you to be able to start creating your own characters, but also looking beyond a lot of the detail to help sort of set the alien world around you and the universe around you. So as a bit of a fan of the movies, I'm going to enjoy reading through this in depth to see how they sort of expand upon the films. But as I say, I'd be interested to see if somebody creates some kind of a Predator crossover, or maybe a crossover with some other popular sci-fi franchise. Not mentioning any names, but yeah, I think this is really cool. One thing I didn't sort of comment on is the difference. One of the major differences between this and the original version, of course, is the white pages. In the first edition, it was quite stylized with these black pages and with these what look like computer screens where all your text would be. Great to sort of see initially, but when you're using this as a resource, it starts to strain the eyes a little bit. So changing over to black text, white page certainly is more preferable as an active book that you're going to be using a lot of. So exciting stuff. Can't wait to sort of learn more about it. But as I have mentioned, on Monday evening we will be taking a look at the Alien role-playing game Evolved Edition Rapture Protocol, which is the first part of a brand new saga trilogy, the Jeremiah saga. This is a cinematic adventure, and we'll also be taking a look at the accompanying miniature set. In fact, that makes me think, if this is the first part of a trilogy, will they be releasing miniatures for each part? Ooh, that's interesting, because maybe then we will get our alien queen. Oh, that's going to be cool. Fingers crossed, hey? So that is what we're going to be taking a look at on Monday evening. Hopefully you will be able to join me then. I guess that just leaves me to hope you have a wonderful weekend and look forward to seeing you on Monday. But until then, bye for now.